First, we'll start with your name and your experience with coaching.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. Dwayne Monlux. I've been coaching for this is my 25th year. Coached everything from high school to college. Coached college. Been head college baseball coach going on year 25, and I was an assistant college football coach for 12 years.
Okay, and the topic today is mental health. First question I want to ask is, what have you used to make sure your players' mental health is good?
Honestly, it's probably an area that we need to be better at. I'm not exactly the most gifted person with the mental side. Mental health is probably an area that as a coaching staff that we probably need to improve on. What we try to do with our players is keep an open door policy so that they know that if they ever have an issue that they can come in and talk about it. We'll try to help them as best we can. If we don't have the means to help them, we will push them to student services where they can get help, professional help if they need. Sometimes players just need somebody to talk to, and we try to be that voice for them or that outlet for them. But if we can't, if it's deeper and further into that, then we will direct them to the professional.
Okay. That kind of answers my next question, but if you want to go into a little bit more detail, how could you incorporate your how can you incorporate that into practices?
I think this is the first time we've actually really kind of done it. I think with Drew, our young assistant, that's kind of one of his background specialties is mental imagery and stuff. So we've tried to implement that with him to let him kind of branch off as a coach as well. So I know he kind of wanted to do it last year, but as we kind of got late, didn't really have that connection yet as a staff till we got on board for a year. And kind of we know how each other works and the coaching staff and the dynamics of the coaching staff work. So I feel very confident in him being able to do that. I do like the mental imagery that he does beforehand, where he explains it and then goes through the Brian Kane work. I do know that Coach Malley's done some of the visualization with the pitchers and the position players, where we're focusing on your breathing, trying to get as relaxed as possible, putting yourself into difficult situations and trying to maintain and find ways to be calm when the stakes are getting higher.
Two more questions here. What is your approach when a player is struggling mentally? And we'll go with kind of the first signs of it, not like struggling extremely bad, but showing signs that they may be struggling mentally.
Now, are you talking mentally like with performance or mentally off the field with personal issues? So there's a big difference.
I'd say we can say performance.
Performance-wise, it's trying to, obviously baseball is a very difficult sport because it's a game of failure more than the other sports. And the mental side of it, especially as a hitter, is a very challenging thing, just because of the amount of failure you have compared to the number of successes you have. When you're in the field, it's a little bit different. The successes should be very good as you're talking about fielding percentages. Hopefully, being higher than 950 for your infielders, where that's an unheard of number as a hitter. So, as a hitter, it's understanding the process. How do we focus on that? Are we getting good swings? Or working on our timing? The mental thing that we try to clean up is it a pitch selection thing? Obviously, that leads to some physical things, but a lot of times it's a mental side. How quickly kind of react on the ball coming and moving, and am I thinking about those situations before they arise? If I'm hitting behind a run, how does the at-bat change pitch to pitch? Those are the mental things that we try to work on for our hitters to try to make them as successful as possible. And then put them in situations in practice. It's a challenge because you want to have a situation where it's challenging, but yet not super easy every day. Perfect example for us is Richie BP Day. That should be a pretty dang easy day. The tougher days are inter-squad days and machine days with velo. Those are our challenge days. I want to see our guys fail some. How do you react when they're failing? So we got to prepare them that way. So if we just have nothing but great success every day in practice, they're not ready for it to begin.
Last question here is, what is your advice for incoming players and coaches as far as mental health goes?
Repeat that question one more time.
What's your advice for incoming players and coaches as far as mental health goes?
Kind of confused on the question because again, that can go a lot of different ways. Are we talking about performance? Are we talking about personal? What are we, what are we kind of talking
I think this one we can kind of touch both. Just kind of looking for how
about?
would
Mentally,
you
mentally, personally, that can go so many different ways. We struggle in school. Is it a person that might have a disorder that you're dealing with? Is it something you have back at home that you're dealing with? Or is a, a boyfriend girlfriend situation? I mean, is it a financial thing? There's so many things that go off of that, compared to performance and on-field stuff. So that's a big umbrella of stuff underneath. If
I
you're
guess
talking about
what-
performance, so I'll branch to that. If we're talking about performance, like what advice do I give? That one, no matter what, you work hard. I think that work hard and be organized and be on time. If you can do those things as a coach, then I think everything else can fall into place. If you're that way, then hopefully I would think that you have pretty decent self-confidence if you're there. Because if you're not prepared and you're not on time and you're not organized, self-confidence goes out of the way because you don't really know what you're doing. If you have that structure, I think that helps with your confidence. And once you're having confidence, and I think you coach better, I think you see things better. I think the players react to you better as a coach because I think they know they think that you know what you're doing. And by doing that and having some sort of consistency, that hopefully translates to your players, them feeling positive about the information that you're giving them. But the players have to trust you as a coach for what you're saying and how you react in different situations. So to me, it's being organized and being on time and knowing what you're talking about if you're trying to relay that message to somebody else.
All right. Thank you.
I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. That's what I was looking for.
What class is this for?